That's the good stuff.
Welcome back, everybody, to Goodwill Podcasting with Dan and Stone, your movie podcast that today is talking about Hoppers. Yes, an original Pixar film is coming to theaters this coming weekend. We have had the pleasure of watching it. That makes me super excited to say that about original films. But something that's also making me happy this morning is that it's not just me and Dan, even though that would be a good time. No, we have two guests on the podcast. We have had one half of this duo on before. We just recounted 9 months ago. We talked about Andor, we talked about Thunderbolts, but now it is the both of them, the brothers, the DuckTakes. It is Blake and Garrett. Thank you guys for joining us this afternoon to talk about Hoppers. I know you guys are big animation fans, big Pixar fans, so I thought you'd be the perfect guests. And here we are. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having us. I'm glad to be able to finally join. I know you guys had Garrett on, but happy to finally make my debut appearance on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back, and thank you for that wonderful intro. That was a great intro.
I try. It's stressful. I try to nail it perfectly every single time. Speaking of nailing it perfectly every time, I'm jealous of you guys. I was just talking about this with our last guest that we had on a couple days ago to talk at Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Your guys' podcast is in person, which I'm super jealous of, because I think that obviously for editing things, it's a lot better, a lot smoother when that happens. But even the conversation, I don't want anybody to turn off this episode saying oh, this is going to be shit, because we're all in different places. But Garrett, how was your time? Did you speak to Blake afterwards and you're like, man, that Goodwill Podcasting, that reel takes trash Thunderbolts, I hated it. What was the conversation afterwards?
That's not what happened.
No, I had a great time last time I was on here with you guys. We had some stimulating conversation going, especially with Andor, because Andor is such a deep, it's so much deeper than just Star Wars in that show. So relevant.
Yeah, that really was a marathon episode we did, because we did 2 episodes. We did Thunderbolts and Andor back to back. It was a lot. So thanks for bearing through it.
He had good things to say. He had good things to say.
I will say one thing I love about Dan is that when it comes to consuming media, I think we consume it differently. But he does look into tries to go really deep and the layers behind it and the real story and what it's trying to say, even more than I ever have. So that's one thing about this friendship between us, and one thing about this podcast that's always been great and kind of maybe sets us apart from other podcasts. Possibly, I don't know how deep we're going to get into Hoppers today. We might get really into it about the destruction of the environment. It's a film. But I wanted to thank you guys. Well, I was saying I don't know if Garrett was. I know Blake was. You were just at Disney World yesterday, and now you're here recording with us?
Oh, well, I mean, so we live in Orlando. So me and my wife, we have annual passes, so I'm always at the theme parks. Garrett is not as big of a theme park guy as me. We're trying to get him there. But I love going to the theme park. So yeah, I'm always there. So you can count on me always being there.
I would say I also live next to you guys. I actually live in Lakeland, so I'm not too far away from you.
Oh, nice. No way.
Yeah, and me and my wife do have annual passes, and I'm in between you two right now. I think my wife is more with Blake in the enjoyment of amusement parks. She just likes the vibe. She likes being around lots of people. She likes fairs, stuff like that. I think I'm more of a practical man like Garrett when it comes to theme parks. I do enjoy Epcot. I feel like that's more adult oriented. It's more fun to go and visit the countries and stuff like that. Magic Kingdom, it's a mess a lot of the times. I think there's too much going on. There's too many kids. Lines.
That's
how are we feeling about lines?
Yep. No, Magic Kingdom is my least favorite park at Disney, believe it or not. It definitely, Magic runs the most on nostalgia, and I feel like that's what always keeps people coming back to that park. But I'm a little bit of both when it comes to there for the vibes and practicality. I love the thrill rides. I love coasters. So when I do want to go for more thrills, I will go to Universal, because they definitely have more of the thrill rides. They have Epic Universe now, which has a decent amount of thrill rides. But the vibes are great too. I love the details that go into a theme park and walking into a very immersive world. And I feel like Epic was very immersive in terms of especially Mario and Nintendo World. Oh man, like you go up into the green tube and everything, and it makes a noise when you enter into Nintendo World. So I do love the details that go into theme parks and just making it feel like you're in the movie. But Epcot's my favorite Disney one. It's a vibe.
I was just about to say, if you want to talk about immersiveness, that's Epic Universe.
Yeah, I don't want to be like too critical, but it's so cramped.
You're not wrong.
One time I just went for my anniversary, and maybe it's
Mhm.
because I'm so busy because our anniversary is in December, and I feel like that's a big travel time.
That is a
to
busy
escape
time.
escape the north and everything. So it was a bummer because the first ride we could go on was the Mario Kart one, which honestly I get the idea behind it. Not
It's like the worst ride there.
Not the best ride, and we stayed 2.5 hours in that, and it was our anniversary. And I bought the $300 fast pass the day of, and I'm like, I'm not doing this shit. I'm gonna have a good time. I'm not gonna go on rides while I'm here.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, this is crazy, but I don't think Dan's been to. Obviously, he doesn't live down here like us, but he hasn't been to Disney World or Universal.
No,
you know,
ever.
That's not as uncommon the more you talk to people, though, I feel like. Because Dan, you're in Philly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, when I was young, like going on vacation, we would just go down the shore, or we would go like hiking or camping up through like New England, stuff like that, Canada. It was usually one or the other. We never really got into, but like I mean, we have Six Flags like not too far away. I love roller coasters, like you said. I'm always into that. So yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I just never have made the time to actually do it.
Funny enough, we didn't really grow up as theme park people either. Like we lived near Busch Garden, which has
Busch
a lot of
Garden was our
coasters.
main one.
So that was a lot of fun. But like, I mean, I didn't really become a theme park guy until I started dating my wife, and it kind of became like our thing. Like we both enjoyed going to theme parks, but then once we started dating, it started becoming like our thing that we enjoyed doing together. So it's only been like within the last like 5 years that I've really became a theme park guy.
That's cool.
He hates it.
It drives me nuts, bro.
What don't you like about you don't like
well,
their thing? Or
It's
like, what is it?
it's just like I have no problem with theme parks. I have no problem going to theme parks. I have fun when I go to Disney. I love Epcot. Like I always have a good time when I go to theme parks. He's becoming a complete Disney adult, and it's like bleeding into his personality, and I have to hear multiple references to it every day. I'm like,
references.
Okay. Just I don't know.
What kind of references?
I don't even know references.
Give an example.
He'll like start bursting out into Disney songs randomly or some crap.
First of all, I think there's a difference between a Disney adult and an adult who loves going to Disney.
It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
I will say, if you're a Disney adult, you're making it your entire personality, which is it's not that common. I feel. I don't know.
See, but that's what scares me. Is I feel like give this 10 years.
You feel he's also
that's where we're
like
headed.
Anakin Skywalker going towards the dark side.
Okay. Yes, exactly.
I don't know. Let me give you an example, Garrett, and see if you think this is Blake, because I have met someone, become friends with somebody who used to or currently works at the parks. And I think I can say this because I don't think he listens to our podcast, so he'll never hear this. But he really likes Disney, and I believe he is a certified Disney adult. Now, I don't think he would get upset with me saying that, but why I think that is I was traveling with him one time with him and his coworker who both work at Disney, and what they were listening to in the car wasn't Disney songs. It wasn't like, Disney Channel music. He was listening to the music, the score from Disney Channel rides or Disney World rides. And I'm like,
that's wild.
What are we doing here?
Dude, I thought you were about to say listening to the score from Disney movies, and like that I would have less of a problem with.
Yeah.
The rides?
I have a confession. I have a confession. I have a confession. If I just need something to like relax me a little, or I just need some background music, I may or may not put on the ambiance from some of the theme parks. So
I will say the setting I guess really matters here, because this was just like on the highway going down the road in a car, and I'm like, can't wait to hear the jams, and it's like living with the land, and I'm like, what are we doing here?
Underrated.
Dude,
that is my wife's
No, but
favorite
here's
line, by the way.
I'm never underrated. Great taste, but why is my camera now blurry? But I would
Disney
never
Plus.
I would never if I had a group of friends in the car with me, yeah, I'm not putting on what I'm listening to in my alone time. I'll tell you that.
Dude, I even called him out the other day. I was like, "Do you even listen to rap anymore?" Because that used to be our genre that we would both listen to, and it's just like, no, it's nothing but movie scores and Disney songs, and that's like his whole soundtrack.
Hey,
and it
nothing
drives me
wrong
nuts.
listening to Ludwig, man.
I mean, no, there's not. I thought it was Ludwig, by the way, but
Ludwig. Yeah, you're right.
you're right. Like, don't get me wrong. If I'm feeling a movie score, I'll put it on, but it's not my go-to. It's not hop in the car. All right, time to play some Hans, play some Ludwig.
That's
I mean,
the
I guess
best time.
that's people's thing, but I don't know, man. Just
I like
feels
it
a
like working
betrayal.
around the house movie or music. Like I need to be motivated. Like I'll put on like Hans or Ludwig. Like I got both of their records back here, so that's when I
Okay.
put on their soundtrack. I'm trying to be like motivated. But speaking of music, I think this will be a good transition into talking about why the two of you connect possibly with Disney so much.
Mhm.
I was talking to Dan before both of you joined on. I actually finished randomly. I started last night a classic Disney animated movie, and I finished it this morning at the gym on the treadmill. Crazy way to finish it. But I watched The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
You
What
know
are your
what's
guys'
funny?
thoughts
I
on
had a
that?
gut feeling you were gonna say that because the music
Really?
is just so fantastic. So I had I don't know why. You were starting to talk about underrated, and then you're like talking about the music. I was like, I feel like he's gonna say Hunchback.
And funny enough,
Excellent.
that is one that I have not seen. I as far as like what's it they call it, the golden age of
Renaissance.
the Disney Renaissance. Yeah, like I am not educated on it. I need to get better. Pixar, I'm a lot better.
Which ones
obviously,
haven't
but
you seen in the Renaissance?
I don't know, man. Start listing them and I'll tell you. 'cause
Okay, Hunchback. Have you seen
Nope.
Hercules?
yeah, but like a long time
Hercules.
ago.
Have you seen? I feel like you've seen most of them. So it
Little
started out
Mermaid.
Little Mermaid,
Yeah.
Seen that.
Beauty and the Beast,
Seen that.
Aladdin,
All right, yeah.
Lion King,
All right, maybe I'm more educated than I thought. Yeah.
Pocahontas.
Yes, but like there's some of these that I have
Okay.
seen, but just like forever ago that I
Then
couldn't
that-
even tell you the plot.
Then there's Hunchback,
Okay, yeah, no,
which you haven't
haven't
seen.
seen that. No,
Then there's Hercules.
yeah, forever
Then
ago.
there's Mulan.
I actually watched that like a couple years ago. Yeah,
Okay, and then the last one's Tarzan.
yeah, okay, maybe I have
Okay,
seen.
so it's
a lot
just
more.
Hunchback. It's just
All right,
Hunchback.
I guess it is just Hunchback.
Hunchback is a very strange movie because it's by far Disney's most violent and dark film.
Dude, it's so dark.
But the way they marketed it's weird. They wanted Oscars. I watched this like 40-minute video about this morning. They wanted Oscars right after Beauty and the Beast. They saw the potential there, and they're like, okay, let's use this classic story and let's adapt it. And it does have like a lot of dark, deep, important themes that would appease to Oscar people. But they're also like, we got to keep it Disney just a little bit. So they're like, how about we have three annoying as hell gargoyles that just do slapstick jokes all the time while like basically murders going on. And that is like the biggest issue that people have with it is that it's so rich, but then it's so irritating at the exact same time at certain points.
I think Frollo is definitely the
By
darkest
far.
villain in Disney. Yeah, what? It's
Dan,
crazy.
you have to watch that. I would love to hear what you say. And another thing, because I know you're a fan of classic literature, Dan, on this video that I watched was like, this movie is not at all like the original novel of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. But then also the man who wrote The Hunchback of Notre Dame,
Victor Hugo.
Victor Hugo, right after that, he created a play called Esmeralda. Like he literally adapted his own work and changed a bunch of it. So this person was like, yeah, it's not directly like the source material, but then the source material wouldn't have worked. You can't adapt that for a Disney movie. So you have to look at what it is to what it was.
He wrote Les Mis as well. Like he's not writing stories for kids. So like that's understandable. I believe The Hunchback of Notre Dame, they were in discussions to make a live action. At least that was the plan for a while. But then when Snow White happened, they said all of that stuff is on hold because we have to like reevaluate what we're doing. But I think that would be a worthwhile live action remake. I would love to see someone else do it. and maybe try to tell the full story and not have it be like a Disney remake. But I still think
Right.
as a Disney remake, it still could be cool. I don't know.
Do you guys
And
like the Disney remakes, like as a whole, or like what's your opinion on that?
I really like Beauty and the Beast. I think that's very well done.
A lot of
Okay.
people say Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella are like the two that they go towards for. Well, and Jungle Book as well. But I have not seen a lot of the live action remakes. I haven't seen Lion King. I haven't seen Mufasa. I haven't seen Aladdin. I haven't seen the Mulan one, which I don't think anyone
Very
did.
very average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot
I have
of
not
the
watched
live action.
Mulan because I knew that came out in 2020.
Well, apparently
one
there was
thing
no
I've
songs in that one.
Yeah, and then they also gave her supernatural abilities, which completely defeats the point of her being able to save China just alone as a woman. You have to give her some special way how she saved China. And I'm like, I heard that. I'm like, I'm not watching that.
Yeah.
Idiotic choice, in my opinion. But one sentiment that I've continued to have about just live action movies in general is I'm actually really excited for Tangled. And the reason why I'm excited for Tangled is because of the director that's attached to it. I think we literally might have just talked about this in our last episode. I don't know how we got around to this, but like Barry Jenkins like directed Mufasa the Lion King, and I'm glad he had that opportunity. But in my opinion, not maybe the perfect director, a great director, but to direct a live action Disney musical. But then you have for Tangled, you have Michael Gracie, which is the person who did The Greatest Showman and Better Man, directing that film. I think he'll be perfect for it. I think he does a great job when it comes to musicals. So I'm really excited for that just based on the direction alone. So, but besides that, it's hard not to be like, they're all cash grabs. I mean, Moana.
Right.
Moana.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Oh.
It looks like an animated movie.
It does.
Dan, didn't you have an interesting perspective on this though? Like you get why they're doing it. Like Moana's 10 years ago, a new generation.
My perspective, I mean, I guess I don't want to go on for too long, but like my general take on it. So for example, we can talk about like Lilo and Stitch, like that live action. Like a lot of people got really I think kind of fundamentally upset about the movie existing. And like I'm not telling you, that's wrong or don't feel that way, but I think my thing is it is a good story that has a good message. It's kind of timeless. I think allowing a new generation of kids to go to the theater with their parents who watch the original and have the theater experience, seeing the story, like whatever. Like is it kind of lazy? Yeah, for sure. But I don't think it's the end of the world. I thought Lilo and Stitch was okay. But what I said about Moana was I think it's a story that lends itself really well to live action. I think it's a story that you can make really cool, and you could go out to like Hawaii and shoot it all like on location, and it could be a really beautiful movie. Or you could shoot it, on any island really, but make it feel authentic. I think that period of history that it deals with is really interesting, and it's kind of underappreciated, under talked about. So like, I don't think the concept is bad, but apparently they just shot a lot of it in front of like green screens in Atlanta, and I'm like, okay, if that's what you're going to do, then I consider it to be pretty soulless. I think they just see The Rock and they're like, oh yeah, he can do that. Like I don't know. But if you're gonna do it, like really do it and make it special. I don't know.
And I mean, and I get your argument for having a new generation, but at the same time, it's like it feels like Moana like just came out. Like that's not that old of a movie, and you're already doing a remake of it. I'm like, there is no way kids haven't seen this.
Yeah, that argument's more for stuff like Beauty and the Beast, for example, or things like that, where it's like, all right, this is. But yeah, and I thought Moana 2 was fucking horrible. I thought that movie was dog shit.
Terrible.
And that was kind of a warning sign that this could be pretty bad as well. I think. I don't know.
Well, it's always tough maybe with remakes.
Maybe the cutoff is like what Tangled is, right? Like Moana's too early, like 10 years, but like Tangled's like 16 years, 17 years when it comes out. Like what is the cutoff?
It was like 20.
Tangled came out in 2010.
I feel like 20 years should be the cutoff. Like I feel like they should have had like some kind of rule about it, because it's like
new generation. Yeah, I agree.
And I hate to be the downer, but a lot of people our age is like, oh, do the ones that make sense, but have like a human character, and it's like mostly human characters, like a supporting cast, and it's like Treasure Planet and Atlantis. And I always tell people, I get it. you like those movies, but those movies did not make money, which is exactly why they're not going to adapt. They're not going to take a bomb, an animated bomb, and then do it for live action in hopes of like people will
see. But honestly,
it
feels like that's all the more reason to do it, to like try to rejuvenate it. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, Moana made a lot of money, the animated one. Let's do that. Still live action.
Yeah, I know. No one.
It's a different way of looking at it's a different way of looking at art. Like what you're talking about, I think is very valid, and it's like seeing an opportunity because the story is good, but it wasn't quite amplified in the moment. But they will always gravitate towards safety and just regurgitating what they know people like. But I do agree with you. I think it's, and like if you market it and treat it like you care about it, it'll make money. Like people would still go see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
and the fact that it gained so much traction like later in its life as a film, like it didn't do good off the bat, but it's like now you talk to people, they're like, oh, Treasure Planet. Like people like it, people love it. And they think it's an underrated classic, and I'm sure they would love to see it get more attention. But
how'd you guys feel about the How to Train Your Dragon live action remake?
I liked it.
That's the thing is like,
didn't you just watch the original before it? Am I mistaken? Am I wrong?
Yeah. So the thing is, I don't have a big emotional, personal relationship with those movies. Like I watched. I don't remember if I watched the first one after I watched the remake, but they were close together. And then I just watched 2, and I think I'd seen bits and pieces of them back in the day, but it's not something I ever like sat down and like gave much thought to or cared about. So I liked it, and I think it's a story that again lends itself to live action with, it's kind of a big fantasy story. Like I think it's something that you can do that. And
like because like with the animated movie being so good, and then having the same director and writer to do the live action movie, it's like, okay, how could the movie not be good? You know what I mean?
It was a shot for shot remake. Like, of course, like I liked the story and everything because it was the same thing. But honestly, I thought there were a few moments that didn't like translate as well to live action, and I feel like it just I feel like it took away from it a little bit. Like, was it good? Yeah. Was it as good as the original? No. It just, I don't know. It just felt like repeating the same thing unnecessarily.
One thing I thought that I guess I personally felt was better was the father-son relationship actually in the live action movie.
That was the one thing.
I agree.
Better.
It felt like more of a relationship.
Yeah, it did.
Dan, didn't we? Am I having deja vu? Did we just talk about this, like the live action of How to Train Your Dragon?
I don't remember the context or what prompted the conversation, but yes.
Yeah, I feel like we did, because I was going to tell you guys one thing that I mentioned when we did talk about it a little bit ago was a huge major flaw of it to me was the test flight sequence, because in the animated film, the way that John Powell makes that music, it blends it with the animation and the sequences that are happening is flawless. But strangely enough, even though he did the music for the live action version, that doesn't happen in that version. Like when it's like triumphing and like, I don't know, it's like the chorus is raising, like you're expecting a certain cut or you're expecting a certain thing for Hiccup or Toothless to do, and it just doesn't happen. It doesn't work. So that's like, I'm like, I can't help but notice that. And it's a nitpicky thing though. If you hadn't watched the original, you wouldn't know. But
I mean,
that's a great example though. That was 2010 too. We're talking about Tangled.
Right.
That's 2010. That's 16 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a good point. Like, honestly, though, if you're watching something that's literally a repeat of something else, you're going to get nitpicky about it. Like, that's the only way to watch it, is you're going to start noticing all the little tiny flaws.
100%. Well, speaking of our childhood movies, I wanted to ask you guys, I had it on our outline here. One thing I've respected about what you guys do and how you talk about movies is you talk about a wide variety of things. And you're big supporters of movie theaters, which, get an applause for us here for that. But I find that you guys always come back or like to talk about animation a lot. And I really respect that, especially Pixar. I mean, you guys live in the area of Disney World. I mean, it kind of just blends effortlessly together. Why do you think that you've remained, or you have continued to keep that as a focus of your content in your lives? Because for a long time, I've just had this idea racking around in my brain, how I've always wanted to like make sure that people understand that animation is also part of film and cinema itself. It always bugs me how there's just a category for animation, even though there's actors, there's editing, there's cinematography that goes with it, but you'll never see nominations like that at the Oscars or any award show, really, because we just give it one thing because we don't take it as seriously personally for me. So seeing you guys do that, your connection to it has always just moved me in a great way. So what is it about Pixar that you've just found yourself coming back to? Why do you come back to it?
Well, one thing before I get to the Pixar part, honestly, one thing I just thought of that I think why, me and Garrett or maybe people of our generation do always come back to animation and see it as, such a great art form in filmmaking is because of the era that we grew up in. Like, I genuinely feel like our childhood was just peak cartoon TV shows, animated movies. Like, we just grew up in such a golden age of animation, I feel like. So that might be a big reason why, people specifically our age do come back to it. But in terms of Pixar, it's always the feeling you're chasing and coming back to it. And because like it's really hard to remember how exactly you felt as a kid watching these movies, but then you keep watching them as you grow up and the older you get, and then these movies start to hit even harder and with their messages and everything, and then you remember why it was important that we were watching these movies as kids. So I mean, yeah, and animation is just, I don't know, it's such a cool ass art form. I don't know.
Dude, it just has a certain charm to it. Like,
Mhm.
and I absolutely love all the tiny details that animators will put into the movies, and it's stuff that you can notice as you rewatch them over and over and over. And the fact that you're having voice actors rather than, straight up screen actors, I feel like that opens up your scope of, the talent that is available to you. Because like, while somebody may not be like they're not an on-screen actor, like maybe voice acting is like the only thing that they do, but they give a hell of a performance. It just gives you a lot more choices of like, getting the exact sound that you want for a character and everything. And I mean, yeah, I think nostalgia definitely plays a factor, especially with like the cartoons and stuff, of why, I keep going back to it. But I mean, there's just been so many good things that come out of animation. You got, Sony with the Spider-Verse projects, like, and it forces you to get creative too. Like, I absolutely love the animation style in Spider-Verse. It looks like, a comic book come to life. But as far as Pixar, I mean, I think I stick with Pixar because of the nostalgia. I mean, like that was, we grew up with Incredibles, Cars, Toy Story, and Monsters Inc. And, and they keep and they're doing sequels to those now. And, that's going to track me back to Pixar. But I mean, Pixar is just, they're the name in the game when it comes to animation. So whatever they put out, it's most likely going to be good.
Yeah, and you guys, if you guys want to know what DuckTakes top Pixar movies are, or their rankings, I will link that personally in our description of this video when we upload it to like YouTube. So I'm not going to spoil it. I believe I remember what both your guys' top fives are. I think you're pretty similar when it comes to the top fives. It was like the middle
We're
ground.
usually pretty
Pretty
similar.
interesting. But
Yes.
it's interesting, Blake. Something that you said that just
Yeah.
caught my attention was that I feel like maybe animation doesn't feel as prevalent or as important right now is because kids have different types of media that they consume as content. They have social media. We didn't have
Mhm.
social media when we were growing up in the 2000s. So what we did in our free time was we either watched animated or cartoons on television or we watched animated films. And you have these studios that knew that and they would continuously push it out or pump these ideas out to try to gain our attention because it's all a business. But now there's all these apps, all these social medias that kids are playing on constantly, or just they're scrolling on TikTok like us now at 8 or 9 years old. So I think that is maybe a very big difference in the cultural zeitgeist that is unfortunately detract a little bit of significance away from animation. And that's
I
sad
mean,
to
look
see.
at that.
I'm
Look at
excited
that
for Toy
one.
Story 5. Toy Story 5.
Look at that one example. With the Detroit Lions football player, and he was talking about,
I was just about to bring that up.
and
I
he was like,
just
"Oh, do you watch cartoons?" And then the little kid was like, "Cartoons? Like YouTube?" Like, no, cartoons.
that's
Yikes.
terrifying. That is
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah. So I
It's
mean,
just not the same.
it's so interesting. Like, and doing social media full time, and like, but I still understand how much damage social media has done for like that era of kids growing up in terms of like what they consume and what they don't consume.
Yeah, I think that's hard sometimes, man. Like, people need to get the fuck off the internet in general. I think it's
Yeah.
like truly, no, I'm serious. Like,
no, I know you're 100%
and I say that
right.
as someone who says that to myself. Like, there's times where I'm just like, dude, go the fuck out. Like, it can be really bad. And I feel like it's a hard balance because we also live in this time where the internet's really important for information,
Yep.
for news, for current events, and also for supporting arts and entertainment, all that stuff. But especially kids, like, if you're listening to this, make sure you're getting the fuck off the internet. Like, even if you support, creators, all of us, that's great. But just, keep that balance.
Yes.
And make sure you keep appreciating other stuff too.
I want
That's
to
a whole
ask
nother
you
long
guys,
conversation, but
off of that, I mean, get off of technology. Like, do you guys want a redemption arc for Lily Pad when it comes to Toy Story 5? I've been thinking about this a lot. Is there a scenario
I
where
have
the
some
message of the
concerns,
movie
man, about what
is
that movie's
that
gonna say.
is that toys and electronics should coexist? Like, the only thing for me personally where I'm like, okay, why would it be good for a child maybe to have an electronic? Like, what's the best case scenario is possibly for education, right? Learning. You can learn bad stuff, but you can do a lot of advanced learning through having that at your fingertips. But playing, I don't think that it should be like, at the end, we have Bonnie playing with an iPad and playing with Woody. I think that personally, I would like the message of that movie to be technology really is for adults, and it should stay that way. And toys should be for kids. I don't know.
I got a thought. Maybe this movie will be more of a message for parenting. I don't know, because
I've heard people say this.
Because we were just talking about balance, and I think balance is huge. And one of our cousins who is a parent to 2 kids, one thing they said recently that I thought was a great balance thing that they're implementing with their kids is that during the summertime, they're not allowed to be on their iPads. So I was like, oh, damn, like, you're keeping them off their iPads for a whole summer, making them go outside. I was like, that's pretty impressive in this day and age. So yeah, maybe it is more. This movie is going to be more for the parents now that I'm thinking about it.
I think they're gonna do like a time limit. Like, you get an hour with the Lily Pad. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they will definitely have some kind of limitation on how much you can play with Lily Pad by the end of the movie. I feel like that's gonna be part of it.
Yeah. What do you want, Dan? What is your worry? What do you think?
Shit I
what
want,
are you scared?
What are you
scared is going to happen?
I don't know. Like, there's a fundamental aspect of this where it's not just like this shit. Like, people talk about brain rot. This shit actually turns off kids' brain. Like, it turns off their frontal cortex. Like, it actually gets them to stop thinking. And I just think, like, I don't think kids don't need any of this stuff. Like, there's not some kid out there that's, not gonna reach greatness or whatever he wants to be or she wants to be because they didn't sit on their iPad for a fucking hour a day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so many incredible people throughout history achieved incredible things without it. And I just think it's gonna be this weird, like, centristy kind of afraid to take a stance. And it's like, it's a movie about tech. And I heard the word tech so many times in the trailer coming from Disney. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. It feels like kind of like this timely thing that they feel like they can cling on to make a movie about. But, and we'll kind of get into it with Hoppers. But one of my big problems with Hoppers is, like, it's not saying anything. Like, it's dealing with an important topic and it's just kind of going, like, it's kind of a shoulder
like right
shrug.
there. Like, it's right there. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, and again, like, what I want doesn't really matter, but
matters to me, Dan.
Yeah, I was just about to say, matters to us. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I will say,
But,
I will
yeah,
find it
we'll
funny
see.
when like, will they make apps or something like online games about Toy Story 5, and it's just like, are we missing the point of what the movie
Right.
was? Like, I'm curious what they'll do afterwards when it comes to like
We'll
marketing.
be selling
and
branded
merchandising.
iPads.
Buy lily pad. Oh, that is something they could do.
They
Buy your own
oh,
lily pad.
shit.
Either
They'll
that
at
or
least-
they'll sell like sleeves that say
Yeah,
lily
lily
pad
pad
on them
case.
for an iPad or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh gosh, we'll see. But speaking
That's
of
all
like us, yeah. Speaking of the studio though and the business, I was really happy for you guys. I'll pop it up here, but you got to go to Pixar's animation studios in California. I believe you got invited out there. This is the TikTok that you guys did from it. Great editing. I don't know who's the editor over there, but great stuff. Hold on, I'm covering
Blake.
I'm covering
Always
Blake's
me.
face. There you go. You got to see the
Yep.
you got to see the editor's face.
That's all
But this
Blake.
was awesome. I will say, oh, we're about to get to the end here, Dan. I want you. Have you watched this, Dan? You probably haven't seen this.
The video?
Yes.
No, I hadn't seen this video.
Okay. Hopefully we don't get copyrighted by @DuckTakes for this video being on here. But watch these drawings real quick. We do have to judge in real time whose was better. All right.
Okay.
There we go.
That's
I
solid.
don't know. I really don't. That's tough.
I feel
Oh,
like Blake's
think
is
it's
a little
not.
more. I think Blake's is a little more cartoony with the eyes. Like the eyes might have a little more life to them.
Garrett, all love Garrett. I prefer Blake's.
Ugh.
But I like yours as well. It's better than anything I could do. I'm not trying to.
Well, you guys doing that actually reminded me of like a big, I don't know if you know about this, Dan, but there's like big controversy within like the Disney World and like Disneyland parks about drawing is that they have these exhibits where you get to like sit down with an actual Disney animator and you get to draw Disney characters. It's one of my favorite things to do. They have it currently, I believe, right now at Disney Animal Kingdom, and they are changing that and they're reinvigorating it. But what they're doing, instead of having an artist there, they had Josh Gad come in and do online or like do voice recordings for Olaf. And it's going to be Olaf doing like simulated drawings and simulated voice recordings about taking you through step by step. And everyone's like, human element's gone. That sucks.
Me and my friend were just talking about this at Epcot the other day.
It's a bummer. It's a bummer. I'm not a huge fan of it, but
Such a huge step in the wrong direction, bro. Like the human element was the whole. That was the whole upside of that.
Well, it sucks because like a lot of people were excited that they were bringing that animation part back to, because they were one thing they're changing in Hollywood studios is that they're turning the Star Wars launch bay into like, you know, Hollywood animation. And a lot of people were excited about that, obviously. But then my friend was talking about what you just said, how instead of an actual animator, it's going to be, you know, recording of Olaf. And we're like, okay, well then what was the point?
I guess we'll find out when they build that. But what did getting invited out of there mean to you guys? Like, how did it go? Like, what was your highlights? Like, I saw you went on a scavenger hunt just in that video. But what was your guys' brain processing? Like, I couldn't believe getting invited out to do that. It'd be incredible, especially the way you guys were raised, you know?
Yeah, I got that email one day and I was just like, I had to like do a double take. So I'm like, are you serious? Pick like the campus, the Pixar Animation Studios. So you know, growing up on Pixar, you know, I know you guys, you know, see my childhood Woody doll back there. Literally had that doll since I was like 3 years old. So
Bald spot?
mean, it was what? No bald spot. We're not putting a bald spot on, you know. But yeah, no, I mean, it just meant everything. I mean, it was really surreal, you know, like didn't even hit until after the trip that actually happened. And then I'll let Garrett go into some of the highlights, because I know with some of the things that we were able to do, I mean, we're really happy with it, but he was especially excited when we walked into. I'll let you continue, Garrett.
Storyboarding was what I was so excited about. I walked in that room, I saw like how they had the setup in there. I was like, is this storyboarding? Because I've seen like the creators of Regular Show go through like their pilot episode of that, and it just seems like the most fun process ever. And it was everything I could have imagined it would be. We were there with Daniel Chong, and we had two the sketch artists, for lack of a better word, but they were literally, you know, drawing on the spot. We had like 25 slides up there of like this story that we were creating within 30 minutes. It was the coolest thing ever.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
So you guys got to
yeah.
make your own little story with the storyboard
Yes,
artists,
yes,
and you got to
yes.
put it up there. Oh, that's
They-
sick.
They gave us a prompt, and like that was the starting point. But then he was like, "All right, what's the first conflict? You know, where are we going from here?" And they were taking our suggestions. One of my what was my suggestion? It was
Who's in the apple?
Oh, no. It was so they were trying to get an apple from a tree. The first obstacle was that they were on ice. It was really slippery, so they were struggling with that. And then they were like, "All right, what's the next one?" And I was like, "Oh, what if there's a greedy animal defending the apple up there? Like he's, you know, he like has the apple. He doesn't want the other animals to get it." And Daniel Chong, he was like, "Oh yeah, let's make that Titus." And then that's when Titus pops out of the apple. He was inside of it, and he starts spitting seeds at Tom the lizard, and then they all fall down from the tree. So it was such an amazing experience. That was my favorite part. But I mean, we just learned so much about you know, the behind the scenes of the animation, and how they were using a lot of specific details to get the background right. Like even one spot they were saying how, like, if you look closely, there's like a circle of grass around our two main characters. The grass in that area is more detailed than it is around like the edges of the screen. They blurred that out, so your eyes just naturally draw towards the middle of the screen. And we also learned about beavers, and like we were like practically beaver experts walking out of there. Like
they had a whole beaver expert come in and give like a 30-45 minute presentation about beavers and the ecosystem and everything. And I was like, I did not know any of this about beavers. It's fascinating.
Dude, I put in my letterbox review. I have a biology degree. I didn't know shit about beavers.
No way.
No,
Dude,
it was
crazy.
Like it was almost like going back to school for a day. So it was really exciting just to like learn all these different things, whether it was about beavers, the environment, or animation, you know. So yeah, it was kind of fun.
I felt so smart that day. I was like, oh my God, I haven't learned anything like this in forever. And honestly, I have noticed, like, when a teacher is passionate about what they're talking about, that's when I'll listen. And everybody there, you know, was passionate about what they had to say. So I was locked in the whole day.
It looks like a sick place to work too. I saw you like volleyball courts and basketball and all this stuff, and I was like, you know, I'm a pretty decent drawer. Like I haven't done it in a little bit, but you know, I think I could put a storyboard together if they really want me to and stuff like that.
A lot of sunlight.
I bought a hat.
Building. Yeah, I saw the hat. It's a cool hat.
I would say you're. I see you guys repping though. I appreciate your. You know, you knew what we were talking about today, and you dressed for the occasion. I do think there are at certain parts of the movie there are specks of blue. So Dan, thank you also for jumping in.
Yes, that was on my mind for sure.
So we can start talking a little bit about hoppers. Something I found fascinating was that they kept on saying that this movie took 6 years. It's been in development for 6 years, which I find crazy. And I was thinking about why that might be so long. And one thing I thought about right away was, I guess it was because of the actors and the writer's strike. Like Elio got pushed back because Elio was originally supposed to come out in 2024 with Inside Out 2, but then they pushed that back, I believe initially because of the actors and the writer's strike. But then we found out that they completely changed that film and changed directors of the movie.
Oh, really?
I know Dan. Yeah, I know Dan.
It was bad.
The original,
it was not good.
The original director was going to be Adrian Molina. And I think the story was going to be a lot more queer coded, is what they said. Is like Elio was going to be.
Oh, that's right. I remember hearing this.
Yes. And then they changed a whole lot of it, which I'm glad. Did you guys? What were your feelings about Elio? I know Dan, you enjoyed it more than others.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed it more than others too. Like, you know, it's wasn't like nothing crazy, but I enjoyed it. I actually just like had it on the TV the other day while editing, and like there's some great parts to it for sure.
Yeah, it's a movie I really liked. And then kind of like digging into what happened behind the scenes. I mean, they pretty much hijacked the movie from the creator of the story and brought in 2 other people to kind of go ahead with it, which I thought was unfortunate, but I still think the finished product was really good. I think it's it's one of my personal favorites in recent, the last 10 years or so of Pixar.
I like the music in it too.
Yeah.
I unfortunately have not seen it yet.
Well, one thing I am happy about is that it looks like they still do have a good relationship with the man that they canned, which was Adrian Molina, because he is coming back to direct Coco 2 when that comes out, because they got him originally because he was the writer on Coco, the first Coco. And they're like, all right, you graduated from writer to director. You're going to direct Elio. That didn't work out, but now he's still going to be attached to Coco 2, which is my second favorite Pixar film. So I'm super excited about that. But I wanted to ask you guys, before we get deep into Hoppers here, something that's always bothered me is that I think a lot of people are like, oh, Pixar was struggling for a while, and now Pixar's back and stuff like that. I don't agree with that sentiment. I think that everyone says that Pixar went away for a while when they dropped all of those movies on Disney Plus. Maybe the respect for Pixar left. But personally, to me, all three of those films, now, between that and where we are right now, we did get Elemental, which not a lot of people enjoy. We did get Lightyear, and then Elio, which was solid for a lot of people, but it wasn't like the high tier of like what Pixar used to be in the 2000s. But I think people forget just how good and unique those three movies were on Disney Plus. I think all of them are like 4 stars or above personally for me. I know Dan and me are huge fans of Soul. I think Luca is really fun, and Turning Red. They're all such different stories, and they're all original stories. And I think they just get overlooked because they just didn't come out in theaters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they I was just going over, that stretch of those movies that came out during the pandemic, and, they were only released in international theaters that didn't have access to Disney Plus. So like the box office numbers are not there compared to the rest of Pixar. And, a lot of those movies did go under the radar because they're straight to streaming movies. And, but yeah, like Turning Red, I have right there in the middle of the pack with the rest of Pixar, Soul right there as well. So like, I agree with you. Like, it didn't go away. Yes, we're not going to hit the pinnacle of what we grew up with because like they just set the bar so high. Like, I mean, we're not going to get that every single time. But in terms of like quality, it's always been right there,
I can't stand Turning Red.
I know me and Garrett's opinions are different on Turning Red. I like Turning Red.
Dude, you don't like Fort Town? Fort Town? Ain't nobody like you. Come on now. Those are bangers.
Nope. Cannot stand it.
It's funny because I think go ahead, Stone. I was going to say something, but
no, you're good, man. I think you actually interrupted Garrett.
I was going to say,
I'll tell you. You can go ahead.
I'm sorry, Garrett.
No, you're good.
I just was going to say quickly. I think I agree with you. I feel like people treat that like it was a bad era of Pixar. I also feel like, there's a run there with like those 4 movies in a row. There were like more diverse stories. Like Turning Red's a story about like a girl. Luca's a story about a Latino kid. Soul's a story about a black man. Lightyear, everyone got fucking butthurt because there was a kiss, like shit like that. And I feel like there's a lot of kind of weird discourse there. And I feel like Lightyear is the one that really people were like, this is actually really bad. But I think the actual like bottoming out of Pixar, looking from 2011 to 2017, it was Cars 2,
Yeah,
which I think is fucking awful.
It is. I just watched that last night or something.
Then it was Brave, which I like. A lot of people don't like. Monsters University, I think, is average to bad. Inside Out, one of my hottest takes, I don't think is that good. Then The Good Dinosaur, Finding Dory, which I think is awful. Then Cars 3. And like that's a 6-year span of like not much happening. And then you get Coco, Incredibles 2, and then you get Toy Story 4, and then you get Onward. Like, I don't know. That's a long time with not much. Then you get Soul and Luca, which I honestly think are better movies than most of that stuff. So I think it's funny, Stone, that maybe the perception, I think the problems maybe were occurring far earlier, and the perception is that those movies caused it, but that's not really accurate.
Well, I'm looking from Cars 2 right now. All right, I like Brave. I like Monsters University.
I like Brave too. Yeah.
Inside Out is good. All right, then we have The Good Dinosaur, not so good. Finding Dory, enjoyable, but obviously not breaking the wheel. Then you got Cars 3. The whole Cars franchise just like went downhill. But Then 2017, we have Coco, amazing film. Incredibles 2, good. Toy Story 4, mixed reviews. Blake is a fan.
Of what? Toy Story 4, yeah.
Toy Story 4. And then now we hit 2020. We got Onward. Onward I didn't see, but I heard mixed reviews as well.
Onward doesn't feel like a Pixar movie. It feels like a Disney movie. I don't know how to say it. It doesn't seem really inspired at all. I don't know how to put that,
I think that's where my problems with Pixar start is like once we hit Onward and then like Luca I enjoyed, but honestly it's really the animation style that starts to bother me because I feel like everybody is just so rounded and perfect and just I don't know, it doesn't feel it just feels too perfect looking and it bothers me.
Well, what do they call it? Like the bean style or whatever?
Yeah. Every human looks the same, and that's also the same style that Turning Red has. And you pair that with I can't stand the story either. So I like Turning Red.
So I think we can all agree like the run of legitimate classics ended with Toy Story 3. Like 2010 is when it was. Because it was Toy Story, Bugs Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, Incredibles, Cars, Ratatouille, WALL-E, Up, and then Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
And then Cars 2 is where we go, oh, these can be really bad.
Yeah.
Up until Toy Story 3, every single movie is a banger.
Can I tell you what? I would not be
Cars
surprised
a banger?
if Cars. Yes. I would not be surprised. I have a lot of nostalgia for Cars.
I don't know.
Whoa. I know you're not talking about Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo is a good movie. It's a good movie.
Finding Nemo's a banger.
Dan, you don't have. When's the last time you actually do you have a Pixar list ranking, Dan?
I did one a long time ago, and there's a few things I think I've watched everything. There's a few things I need to rewatch before giving an opinion on. But it's been a long time.
What's your most underrated Pixar movie, Dan?
Underrated? Give me like 15 seconds. One of my gut reactions is Soul.
Okay.
I love A Bug's Life. I think probably more than most people. I don't know if it's underrated. I think Brave. I think Brave is underrated. And honestly, I might say like Elio and Inside Out 2. I really liked both of them. I like Inside Out 2 way more than I like Inside Out. But if I had to pick one, probably Soul.
All right, most overrated for you.
Probably fucking Cars and Finding Nemo. Like
fucking get out of here.
I gotta tell you,
bro.
Now
Cars I can accept, but like Finding Nemo.
What is wrong with Finding Nemo?
I have it at like a 3.5. I definitely like it. I think a lot of the characters are really fucking annoying. And I feel like it's a really bare bones
spin-off of one of them.
Yeah, man. Finding Dory is absolute poop. But overrated, I don't know. Everything else, I think there's only like 5 or 6 movies that are like below average to bad that they've ever made.
I got a hot take for overrated, and it's not. It's. I just looked at somebody's Instagram that they said it's the best Pixar movie, and I think it's good. I have it a 4 out of 5, but it's not even in my top 5 or top 10. That's how good I like Pixar movies. Like all my top 10 are either 4 or higher. Is Monsters Inc. I have Monsters Inc. at my 12.
No,
but that's a 4 out of 5 movie, man. That's a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I mean, to have a 4 out of 5 movie at the 12th spot, you know, I can't hate that, you know.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. I just like.
It's not in my top 10 either, Stone. I'll say that.
I feel like Monsters Inc. tugs on the heartstrings for me and Blake.
But see how we all grew up with these different opinions on these childhood movies. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
We all have Incredibles at number 1, so that goes out the window.
Yeah.
I don't.
I do.
Wait, what do you have at number 1?
Yeah, that's not.
Like I thought you did.
Dan's gonna hate me. I got Finding Nemo at number 1.
Oh,
nah, no hate at all.
Here's my top 5.
Not bad. Okay.
Finding Nemo, 1 spot. 2 spot, Monsters Inc. So both of y'all are now just you're like, get off the podcast. 3 Toy Story 2. 3 is Toy Story 2, the best Toy Story movie.
Wrong.
That's a good take.
That is the best Toy Story movie.
Wrong.
So good.
4 The Incredibles. And then upon rewatch, I'm gonna swap. I'm gonna swap my 5 and 6 spot. So at 5 I had Ratatouille, but I'm putting Wally up at number 5 because upon rewatch I adored Wally.
Wait, can I ask you really quickly, what is it about Finding Nemo that separates it for you or like makes it special?
Well, I love the music. I love the journey. I think I'm a big and I love the setting of it too, like in the vast ocean and you know the obstacles that they have to go through. Personally, I find a lot of the side characters pretty enjoyable. You know, I think that takes a dip in Finding Dory or where we make because one thing I'm noticing that I don't like with some of these sequels, especially with Cars 2, is when we're switching the main character here. And, you know, we make Cars 2 about Tow Mater, and I'm just like, I'm not invested.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But I just really love the music, the setting, the journey of Finding Nemo, and opening scene just gets me every time.
Fair.
What's the problem with Finding Nemo for you guys? Is like Dory too annoying for you, or like
I have Finding Nemo at a 6. Like at my 6. I agree. The thing about Finding Nemo that sets it apart is that journey is because there are so it's like you get from one memorable moment to a next. Like you go from the sharks, you go to the jellyfish, you go to the turtles, you go to the whale. Like it's just nonstop moment after moment that you remember. And it's just it's incredible moments. Really, really, really good stuff. Yeah, I have it.
And I think for me, it's also one of the most nostalgic Pixar movies as well. Like Toy Story 2.
Wait till we become dads. It's gonna like
that's what I'm saying,
change.
Man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Whew. Watching Lion King with your kid. Oh my God.
Dan, why do you hate it?
I don't hate. I
purposely pushed your
3.5. Yeah, no,
that was on purpose.
It's just, it's never quite struck me, and I feel like again, there's stuff like I find Dory to just be generally obnoxious, and I can't stand Ellen, so I feel like maybe that's part of the reason why. But
I mean, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good.
She can read.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I was older of like who I realized was voicing Dory, and I was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Makes sense. But maybe we should start talking about hoppers. we're
talking about hoppers.
We talked for a long time. We can talk about for a long time.
Hey man, I saw conversation's flowing.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good. It's good. Like I said, I'm trying to keep us on track. If we might go a little bit long here, but
that's fine. Yeah,
I will say. Have you guys checked out Daniel Chung's other work? It's one primary thing that he's been a part of for a long time. I was looking at his IMDb, and he has done something called We Bare Bears, which is a series on Cartoon Network, I believe. I watched the movie. I haven't watched any of the series. I watched the movie, and it has 129 episodes. So this has been like his thing. Now, back in the day, it looks like he did work as a writer on the story with Mater's Tall Tales. So we kind of just, I don't know if he was involved with Cars 2 at all. We might be shit talking him a little bit. I don't know. We love Daniel. But yeah, I watched the movie of, before we actually jumped on here today, I watched the movie of the We Bare Bears. It's fine. I can very much see how it's aimed more so towards children. But then also there's a lot of technology in it. There's like these bears are like trying to post on social media and being like viral. And I'm like, not my type of content. I really don't need this per se, but it was fine. It was solid. I like the ideas behind it. But I saw that one of you guys, whoever runs the account or repost stuff, you highlighted or you reposted. Okay, you reposted Piper Curda's like story or video that she made.
I did not know that about her story. So when I saw that pop up, I just was sitting there listening, and yeah, it was really interesting.
Did you see this, Garrett? Do you know about this? So basically, in this video, I'm gonna keep it up there for just a second. People go check her out at the second Curda. It looks like I don't want to.
She's the main character in the movie, Garrett.
So she voices Mabel, and basically in that video, she said that when the writers and actor strikes happened, she was working a retail job. Because of that, she started working retail, and she gave it her all, and she was really trying to do be happy about it. But in the back of her mind, she was thinking about the fact like, I know a lot of my actor friends in Hollywood wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, trying to pay the bills, but here I am. And Daniel, she says in that video that Daniel saw her videos on TikTok talking about that, talking about her struggles and her trying to survive during those strikes, and reached out to her about hoppers. And that's how she got offered this role. And it is interesting because she was involved with Disney back in the day. I remember seeing her face, but the big thing that she was a part of was a Disney Channel show called I Didn't Do It. She was one of the main characters on that series, which ran for 39 episodes, it looks like. But something that was cool in that was that she said while promoting Hoppers, she was doing press at Disneyland. And when she was walking around, her boss from her retail job in Illinois was just randomly at Disneyland at that time and saw her. And she's like, this is just like a full circle moment. How like, I never even thought that I would even get to this position that I'm at right now, leading a Pixar film, let alone see somebody from my past who was there for me when I had, nobody else, when I was just trying to survive. And it's such a cool, I'm very happy and that she's a part of this. It was a really cool story, but
yeah, it was really cool to hear.
Oh yeah, no, I did not know that. That's insane.
Yeah, good for I'm happy for her. Happy that this movie exists, but let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So Hoppers, I think I did pop up a movie synopsis here. So it reads here, when scientists discover a way to transform human consciousness into robotic animals, Mabel uses the new technology to uncover mysteries of the animal world that are beyond anything she could ever imagine. Now, because Blake is the newest guest here to Goodwill Podcasting, I thought maybe you can give brief spoiler-free thoughts on the film. We can go you, Garrett, me, and then let's do Dan last, because I think Dan has more of a differing opinion than all of us, so that should be interesting. Save the best for last, as they would say. So, Blake, you want to go ahead and give your thoughts? I know you guys already, now, before anything, I did subscribe. I am part of House Targaryen, I believe is what it's called. Now, if you're confused about what that is here on Goodwill Podcasting, that is I'm new to Patreon, but that is the first tier membership of Patreon of DuckTakes. And I thought about this, and I'm almost positive. I just joined House Targaryen, and I'm like, I'm almost positive that these guys have already talked about Hoppers, and they have. So if you are curious to hear their full thoughts on their own podcast, go check them out. But share your brief thoughts, my man.
Well, thank you. First of all, you not have to do that. But I mean, yeah, I think we had a great time watching this movie. Does it make it more special that we got to watch it at Pixar campus? Like, yes, I will not deny that. But overall, I think it's a Pixar movie that doesn't break the wheel. But I really enjoyed our main character. I liked the setting of the story. As far as the message, and I know we'll be talking about this later, and me and Dan were kind of, having the same thought there, is where like you have something really there for the audience to learn, but they don't fully dive into it. But this movie was really funny. I think it was one of the funnier Pixar movies in recent years. And that is something that the director did talk about when we went to Pixar campus. And has some great twists in there too, and some great adult humor. So like overall, I think it was just an enjoyable movie for everyone. I think it's a movie that, adults will enjoy taking their kids to. That was my overall spoiler-free talk.
What do you say, Garrett?
I mean, yeah, I agree with everything he just said, but yeah, it was definitely one of the I think this is going to be one of those movies that kids are not going to fully understand all the jokes that are in it throughout the whole movie, but they go back and watch it later. So I love when Pixar is able to work that into their movies, because it just makes it more enjoyable throughout the years, as you get to discover more things when you're watching it later in life. But yeah, I think it touches on an important topic, and to be honest, it was funny because like when when Daniel Chong was talking about when he first wanted to do this movie, he didn't have beavers in mind at all, and but slowly he just like it kind of became this environmental film, which I don't even think was like the original intention when he was first doing it, but
he wanted it to be penguins first.
Yeah, he did want it to be penguins, like, and then they immediately shut him down because they were like, too many penguin movies. We got Happy Feet,
Makes sense,
Penguins
yeah.
of Madagascar, whatever else.
Kowalski.
Yeah. But yeah, I honestly, this whole movie just kind of felt like a rolling snowball. Things just like gradually just kept getting more intense. Like you start off with Mabel just trying to do something simple and, save her little pond. But, she just constantly keeps running into problems. And then, you take a huge step forward when she discovers the whole Hoppers program. And then it's like you just go from one thing to the next. And it's just things just keep getting more and more intense. Good twists. Yeah, I don't know. It just it felt like it was it did have like a nostalgic feel of like older Pixar movies in a sense. I don't know.
I love that you kept mentioning the snowball effect, because I will say I think the biggest positive I can give this movie is that it's very unpredictable. It was very entertaining. I did not know where it was going to go, and what happens during the climax probably couldn't have predicted that if I tried 100 times, to be honest. And it was fun. It was chaotic. And I liked that it was unexpected. When it came to the environmental message, animal rights message of this movie, I like that it was more educational and probably will be boring to kids on how they explain the importance of the environment and of animals and what they mean to it. But as you were saying, Garrett, like as you get older, I think you will understand, and this younger audience will understand just what this movie is trying to say. And I really appreciated that. Also, I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but I like that our main character, she wants to do good. And I think that's a sentiment for a lot of young people in the world. She's 19 years old, I believe, in the story. And it's like she knows, and we all know what is right. It's like she's trying to, when she's a kid, she's trying to free all these animals from cages and stuff in her classroom. That's like in the first 3 minutes of the story. But then she knows that she's supposed to save this glade, or wants to save this glade, because it means a lot to her. And I think they do a good job of relating to the audience and showing us unique ways of why nature means so much, not only to the animals in it, but also to the people and how it affects people emotionally and their personal relationships with it. But I find it fascinating how she didn't know everything when it came to what she was fighting for. And then when she interacts with literally the creatures that she's fighting for, she learns something new. Mm-hmm. And it helps her achieve the success or the mission that she was setting out to do in the first place, which I wasn't expecting that at all. And I think I think this movie is a lot about coexisting. And that's something that King George says right off the bat. He's like, oh yeah, they know about the humans, and they understand that they're a part of their kingdom, and they want to live with them and learn from them and coexist with them. But coexisting also applies to being an activist and having people who are trying to fight for something, but then those people fighting against them, and learning how this can work out for everyone. What is the goal here? And for me, it was to have a conversation. And I think that is what the message is at the very end of this movie, which I personally thought was super powerful. I also like that the villain of this movie, I would say there's two of them.
Yeah.
The villain towards the end of the movie, I like that he's just pure evil. And I think that's something I think a lot of people have been mentioning recently, how redemption villains are just like, come on, like the grandma from Encanto. It's just like, okay. And it's just like Gabby, I think from Toy Story 4. Okay, they're just misunderstood. I like that this villain is just completely evil, psychotic. I think that's super fun. I will disagree with one thing that my co-host here said on his Letterboxd reviews. I won't spoil exactly what he said. Voice acting overall, I think, was solid, but I think that character's voice actor towards the end of the movie, the villain, did a great job. I thought he was perfectly cast for the role, and we can get in that later, but I really appreciated the work that was being done there. In terms of negatives, I will say that I didn't think the animation was that wowie. There's not a moment that I sat back, and maybe I am taking it for granted because there is so much work that you guys saw that goes into these movies. And not at a certain point, especially when we're getting so much diversity when it comes to animation, I was just like, okay, this is solid all around. I think they could have done a little bit more in that department. I also think what they do with Mayor Jerry and his opinion changing towards the animals and towards the glade was a little bit rushed and didn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense. And I don't necessarily like how that was carried out. I think there should have been like 10 or 15 minutes tacked on to that little portion of the story. There are some jokes that don't land. And I hate that because it reminded me of James Gunn's humor a little bit. I think we just talked about this in our last episode, but James Gunn sometimes has jokes where it's like a running joke and it's a long joke. And if I don't find it's funny and then it goes on for 3 minutes, that's really a rough thing to sit through. And I'll give a specific example of what that was in this later on, but there's a couple times where it was like that. And then also there is an emotional connection that this main character has to a person in her family. And that carries on throughout the entire movie. And I think that's super powerful. But I did think that there was an over reliance on flashbacks when it came to reminding us of that connection. And I'm like, I hate flashbacks. I'm like, your audience is smart. Even if they're kids, they're going to understand what this jacket means. I don't need to see black and white throwbacks to, grandma's days or whatever. But those are my little bit of gripes with it.
I want to make one comment on your long running jokes that won't hit for you. I feel like that's never been a problem for me because I'm just like conditioned from it from watching Family Guy and Seth MacFarlane and how he would do like the whole Conway Twitty thing for like 3 minutes in an episode.
My number one example is Taser Face from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I hate that shit. I think it's so unfunny.
Damn.
I think the best example is the fucking screaming goats from Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
I mean, they have something like that in this movie where all the animals are making noises, and I'm like, I'm not really enjoying this.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that is
They
the
do
joke
it multiple
where I'm like,
times. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
I've talked for too long. Dan, rip it to shreds, Dan.
Yeah. So I'm really happy you guys like this movie, and I think people in general are enjoying it and probably will enjoy it. I think it'll do well, but we talked earlier about not thinking there are a lot of like bad quote unquote Pixar movies. I think this is one of them. I think they're only about five or so, but it's a lot of things. I think we talked earlier about Elio. I think both Elio and Inside Out 2 are both really good. I think they were both a little bit underappreciated. They didn't market Elio at all, which was an issue we didn't talk about, but they just kind of left it to die and it flopped. But I feel like watching that movie, it felt very unique. It felt very fresh. You had a main character that they kind of hinted at like being autistic, like being neurodivergent and like having this hyperfixation on space. And I feel like all of that stuff, he also was very anxious, very energetic. And I feel like they kind of established this character as a very unique Pixar protagonist. And then they maintained all of those characteristics throughout the course of the film. And you kind of get to see that character grow and change. The characterization of Mabel is really just that she is angry and she kind of uses nature as a way to deal with that, which I think I really liked that opening and the connection with her grandmother. And I thought that was, that made sense. That's kind of her only character trait, and then it just goes away. And it's not really referenced again throughout the course of the film. And she doesn't really get much characterization outside of a generic kind of care for the natural world and all that. And I think that's just having a character that doesn't really have any traits doesn't really make it. I don't find it to be particularly compelling. Also, I said, I don't think there's a character here that people will remember, to be honest, in a few weeks. I don't think there's a voice acting performance that is memorable. I think, Stone, you mentioned Dave Franco. I think he really definitely went for it, but I felt like I was just listening to Dave Franco scream. Like, I didn't feel like really he was voice acting so much as just kind of raising his voice and being goofy. I think when you watch something like The Wild Robot, the voice acting from Lupita Nyong'o and Pedro Pascal, like, you don't fucking know it's them at all. Like, they're really acting, they're crafting a character, and the character isn't just this like very simplistic evil. And I think there's only one villain in the movie to me, and it's not a human being; it's an animal, which I think is really strange. I think the conclusion of the film is strange, with the animals being the only ones who really have to sacrifice anything. It doesn't really make any sense to me. I think there's a redemption story here that doesn't make any sense. That's kind of underbaked. And we talked about the animation. I think to center in on a specific problem with it, it's the eyes. And like for example, you look at the deer character, and it's literally just a white circle with a dot. And it's the same thing for the beavers. And I think there's no emotion at all in these animals. Um, and it really limits, like just the eye in and of itself limits how expressive they actually can be, and how much they can portray. And I think outside of just like this again generic idea of these animals are supposed to be cute, like there's not much expression that can be seen from their faces. And I don't know, I thought the first hour of this is just really bad. I think my favorite part was the animals kind of coming together and seeing their little council and all that. I thought that was a lot of fun, and it picked up there, but then kind of got lost again for me. And as a final thought, just the comedy, I didn't really laugh much. And the people I was with, and I was with my fiance, we were just kind of like, I feel like the comedy is generally geared towards younger kids, and some of the stuff like just like screaming and making different noises. Like I don't know if kids find that funny or not, but I'm not sure who those jokes are geared at. Where like the beginning when you meet all the animals, they're just like dancing. I don't know. There's just sequences where I'm just kind of scratching my head, like, who is this really for? And I think one of the great things about Pixar is a lot of these movies can be geared towards any audience, and like we can still watch a lot of these and enjoy them. But for me personally, I feel like this is, and maybe you reference this with Daniel making that bear thing, that's maybe geared towards younger kids. I think this is a film that feels geared towards younger kids generally, from the simplicity of the characters to the themes to the comedy. And I'm just not really sure that we're going to remember much of this in any way in a very short period of time. So I'm sorry, guys.
That's a real take. That's a real take.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, man.
You
No,
get
tell
what
us
you
what
pay
you really
for.
thought, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't all agree on everything, you know?
No, yeah, for sure. And like I said, I'm glad you guys liked it. And I think general audiences will like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So I do want to have
the general audience.
no, just I mean,
wow.
yeah, those are some of my thoughts.
I agree. I think this will appeal to the masses. I think there's a lot in here for. I think there's something here for everyone to enjoy. But
Do you think
maybe that's the problem? Maybe that's the problem.
Here's a question.
okay.
Do you think maybe they kind of really wanted to make something that could appeal to the masses because of the swings they were taking in that flopped era?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I think it feels very safe. It feels like it doesn't want to
Yeah.
step on toes. It doesn't want to.
I
I'm not
agree,
saying
it is
kids
safe.
movies need to do that.
Mhm.
But I think it feels like they're like, okay, we need something to do well. So please
Mhm.
do well. Like, yeah.
So we can get into spoilers now because we've been talking for so long. What do you guys think about the ending? What do you think the message here at the end is? Because my interpretation of it was that in order for change to actually happen, people need to have a conversation with each other. Because
Mhm.
Mayor Jerry and Mabel, they just keep on screaming at each other constantly. And Dan, I want to kind of push up against what you were saying, how Mabel's anger doesn't come back into play, because that is something she deals with throughout the movie, even as a beaver. There's one specific moment where she has to not get angry, and that is when her and Jerry are able to break free after the animals tie them up. She wants to yell at Jerry because this is the guy that she genuinely does hate, but she knows that that's not going to produce any benefit. So she's like, all right, let me just remember my grandma. Let me remember what it is that I need to do. What would be the smart thing to do? And she calms down and she just talks to him, and they're able to break free together. So I think it's very interesting that, like I said, when Mabel comes into the animal world, she automatically decides that she knows what's best rather than talking to the animals. And if she talked to King George, he's like, hey, bro, we just all need to chill and like work together. That's the main goal here. She's like, no, this dude's evil and we need to do all this. And I'm not pushing back against that, but I do find it interesting how the message at the end of the movie is, yeah, you kind of do need, in a way, to work together to get the results that you want to. And maybe the way to do that and to change these evil people's minds is to educate them on why what they are doing is so bad for the environment and for the people who live in it. And I thought that was pretty fascinating.
And I think when she was having that meeting with like the Council of Kings and Queens of the Animal Kingdoms, like that was also her speaking from a place of anger, and she's learned and that backfired immediately. So she learned that she had to, you know, switch up how she approached the situation.
Yeah, I think the problem is, guys, like that's all, like it's definitely a cute idea, but it's not real. Like the people that are doing this shit to the world, like they don't care. Like they know they don't care. They're not ignorant. It's not like they need to be sat down and educated by a bug, right? Like they would just squish the bug until it, and then continue doing what they're doing. Like the people consuming all of our drinking water for AI data centers, like if you sit down and go, well, Sam Altman, we actually need that drinking water, like he'll tell you to go fuck yourself. Like he doesn't care. They want us all to die. Like you know what I mean? Like it's something like that's cute, but
you're 100% right. You're 100% right. But this movie isn't for those CEOs. This isn't to help them grow a heart.
Completely
this is to help,
right.
This is to help kids just be aware and
not turn into those CEOs.
And teach kids how to care about things like nature and speak their mind. And if enough people speak their mind, changes can be made. This isn't to help the fucking cynical, you know, pieces of crap at the top of the chain that are already, you know, taking advantage of natural resources.
I totally agree with that, but it's also shaping how kids view the Mayor Jerry's of the world, right? And that's the part of it that, because Mayor Jerry doesn't fucking care, right? Like that's the part where.
So you think he should have just stayed evil? Like he shouldn't have, you know, come around to his senses.
It was rushed, but could he care? He could.
Blake,
I will say that part is half baked. That part is half baked, but there's something there. Like if they dove into it a little bit, I think there could have been something great with Mayor Jerry.
They kind of just saved his life, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm chill with you guys."
So I think the best. I mentioned the voice acting. I think the best voice acting performance in the film, and one of the best characters, is Meryl Streep. She plays the bug queen. Like she was a sick character, and she was very based. She was like, "We're gonna squish Jerry, fuck Jerry," and like honestly, I was on board with that. And then she's like the actual like radical, and she gets immediately killed. But anyway, like I liked her voice acting. I thought it was a lot of fun. Like my problem with the movie is you're supposed to view that as too radical, right? And then the only thing that gets Jerry to stop what he's doing is the threat of Jerry being killed. If there was no threat on Jerry's life, Mabel never would be able to like convince him. Like the whole angle she's using to get him to stop is they want to kill you, so you have to stop. But if they never wanted to kill him, he never would have stopped. So what do you actually say? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
So like
the lesson is
can't coexist unless we're gonna fucking kill you.
Unless there's a threat of violence, yes.
Right.
Because if you take away the threat of violence, there's no motivation for Jerry to change.
That's why I think they needed to dive into Jerry a little more for some deeper motivation of his change, of his perspective change.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Say that. Yeah, you can also say that it wasn't going to change. He wasn't going to change his mind until like a natural disaster, which was what that fire was. Even though it was caused by events in the movie, you still realize how important the animals are because of how they prevent it.
Because of how they stop.
Now that's not normal in the natural world, probably for beavers to stop a forest fire. That'd be sick. But they can. They can. But I don't think that would happen the way it happens at Hoppers.
Not the way it happened, but
not the way it happens, but they actually can stop or minimize the damage of forest.
So you guys are educated on this, actually.
Yeah.
So.
No, this was what we learned in the biology part or whatever, the nature part of the Pixar trip. A glade created by beavers that is completely it's full of water, and like it essentially creates like a giant barrier. Like if you just have like a normal river, a forest fire can like skip right over that and keep moving on to the next section of forest and keep burning it down. But if you have one that's populated by beavers, they create a very large wetland, and that can be enough to prevent the fire from moving on to the other side of the river. So they can do it, just not as cinematically as they did in the movie.
And here's the entire thing. And one of my issues with the ending is the biggest sacrifice in the movie is the first dam's already destroyed. Like what you just said is exactly right. Like basically they're able to create wetland, which is harder for fire to burn through. Like, so that's kind of the way it functions. But the climax of the movie is the animals having to destroy the dam and their basically their own ecosystem to save humanity. And that is the biggest sacrifice in the movie. After the animal villain causes the events to occur, and then a fire starts because the metal pole falls onto a stage and then the entire forest explodes. I'm not sure how that works. I'm also not sure those poles were like bolted into the ground, but then there were like strings that were holding down. Then when the strings came up, the bolts unscrewed. I was like, who the fuck built this? This is
Don't think about that. Don't think about that.
Yeah. But
I will say the beavers, when they did that, though, they're not only helping the humans, they're also helping their own environments. The forest doesn't burn down all around them. So it is that theme of coexistence. And like us, by helping us, we are helping you because we have to live on the same planet together.
But then the only people that actually suffer after that are the animals because their entire ecosystem is then destroyed.
No,
okay,
man.
well, it was
Jerry wanted his highway. He didn't get his highway.
Yeah,
He
and
suffered.
also that fire was already happening, and I think you're overvaluing the amount of their sacrifice. We saw them build a dam in like a day. You know, like they can build a dam
smaller
again.
dam.
A smaller
Yeah,
dam,
they
sure.
could definitely do it in a few weeks. But
dude,
like,
like they can build it again. I think they'll be all right. And stopping the fire was more important than keeping the mega dam at the time. So I think they'll be all right.
yeah. I also the other question I had was can we talk about the highway? They're building a highway that goes in a circle around the city.
It was a really dumb highway. I agree.
Like, I'm just like, who is this for? What is this accomplishing? It just goes in a circle and it's missing one piece. Like,
well,
I think
that was
unnecessary.
That was the joke of the movie. It was unnecessary construction because I think he said you would save like 3 minutes getting around the city. Like that was it was.
But where are you
stupid.
going? It's like a raised highway that just goes where. I do understand that's probably a joke, but
I don't think they had built the ramps yet to get on the highway. Like it was literally just a giant halo above the whole city.
I'll say, speaking of jokes, though, Dan, I have to know because like the reaction moment of this movie is when Meryl Streep gets crushed. Like, it was
funny.
Find that okay, good.
Yeah, that was funny.
I thought that was very good.
Like the reaction was funny, I thought. And there were some like throwaway lines like the bug calls the beaver like a milk drinker. Like I was laughing at that. Like there's a couple of weird jokes that I thought were funny, but like I don't know, the animals just making noises. I'm like, who is this for? Like, and that they go back to that joke like 3 different times in different settings. I'm just like, did you guys think that was fun? I don't know. Like,
wait, you got to remind me. It's been like a month or two since
I know. It's
it.
been a while.
What noise?
the most egregious. So the most egregious time is when they're describing the noise that the like sound machine makes.
Yeah.
And all the
Fake
different
noise.
animals just start making different unfunny
Awful.
noises.
Okay.
And then it's just like, what's the joke? Like just noise? I don't.
I mean, I think the joke is just them being goofy, trying to emulate the sound because they're animals. They don't know how to describe it really.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But it does
will
go
say-
on.
the fact that I can't
Yes.
remember it makes a point that like
Here's a question-
probably
here's a
wasn't
question
the
for all you
best
guys.
joke out of the movie.
What do you guys think is the funniest joke in the movie? What jokes are memorable to you?
I did like the
besides
lizard.
squish.
Like I know they were trying to push the lizard a lot. I thought it was fucking funny when he
Oh,
was
the
like,
emoji
trying
thing.
to help
Yeah.
that, but he was also trying to help out the dam. And he was like, "Whatcha, whatcha?" It's like just these little twigs. I'm sorry, Dan. I thought that was funny.
Okay.
One of
It
the
was good.
funniest things that sticks out to me was when you just see a fucking shark flying through the air.
That was good.
And
I
then
like that.
And it ends up being
voice
just like,
acting, too.
and it's like, it's the most normal voice you would have that you would never expect out of a shark. That was funny.
Yeah. It wasn't necessarily like these one-liner jokes that I'm remembering. It was the unpredictable stuff that I kind of just thought was funny, like the shark coming out of the water. It was funny because before we went and saw this movie, before we walked into the theater to watch it at Pixar campus, they were like, "Hey, are you okay with being filmed for reactions and wearing a mic?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure, that's fine, whatever." And so I tell Garrett, all right, this is a Pixar movie, like no cursing, can't be cursing, we're mic'd up. And when that shark came out of the water, I slipped up and I yelled, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Oh shit, they can't use that." But so it was moments like that stick out to me in terms of how I thought it was funny based off of how unpredictable some things were.
I'll say another thing like that for me was when the robot Mayor Jerry, which I do think they rushed, like the animals figuring out how to do that and forcing the scientists to make a human. Sure. And I was like, oh, that was really brushed over really quick. But him, when he started like crawling really strangely and his face got peeled off, I was sitting there like, this is kind of crazy for a Pixar movie. And I like it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Especially with the face notification, like, whatever that's called, face recognition. I was like, that's ID, a good bit.
There were some like vague like horror elements of the story that I thought were fun, like the sequence with like the caterpillar making the cocoon and then like coming out of it. I thought that was funny. Like I like that.
So I like the villain. I think Dave Franco does a good job. He just sounds like a whiny bitch, and that's Dave Franco.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. You just reminded me though of another thing that I found really funny is they had a couple moments in there where like some random citizen of the town would call out exactly what you're thinking. Like and the moment I'm talking about is when Jerry was being like crazy and acting like an animal, and you just hear one of the citizens, he goes, "I don't think that's the mayor." Like you just hear him because like any rational person seeing this is gonna be like, what the fuck is up with the mayor? So and you're sitting there wondering like, how are these people not recognizing how insane he's behaving right now? So there were moments like that, and they would just call it out. Those were funny to me. It was very self-aware.
That really is a perfectly timed joke. It's just like, how are these people not recognizing this right now? In that perfect moment, they're like, hold on, something fishy's going on here.
I'm a big sucker for like off-screen comments as well. Like if there's a well-timed off-screen comment, that'll usually get me.
Dan, what was your favorite thing? Did you name your favorite joke? Yeah.
God.
The animal screaming.
So I thought the section of the movie I liked the most, and I thought there was like a lot of funny stuff in it, was like I think everything up until the like animal council I thought was like really bad. Like I feel like the character of Mabel is just underbaked. I feel like the character of George was underbaked. I didn't think anything was really interesting in what they were doing. But like when that happened, you see some other animals, you get some other actors coming into the scene. You get some surprising moments, some funny moments. Then you get the chase, and then you get the shark. Like that to me is the best part of the movie right there. Like that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the shark idea. I thought that was like really goofy and funny, and I liked her voice acting. I thought it was cool. Like I talked about the eyes earlier. You see like the shark's eye roll back into its head. I thought that was cool when it goes to like kill him. There's definitely stuff I liked. I think a lot of it starts with Mabel's character. I just feel like, what can you guys tell me about her character? Like, who is she? What is she actually about outside of just like, I don't know. She just feels really generic to me. And so did George, so did Jerry. Like just they all kind of felt like caricatures of what they were supposed to be.
So I think what this boils down to for you is this movie just wasn't bold enough. It didn't take a bold enough step in any direction, and it pisses you off.
Yeah, but like I think what we said is right. Where I think they did want something just like, safe and yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. This isn't like, it's not a movie I like hate at all. I'm not saying that. It's just I don't think it's, for me personally, how I look at this stuff. It's not very good in terms of what I look for. But it's not like a detestable movie. Yeah, like it's not. I'm not saying it's it's fine.
So it's above it's above Finding Nemo for you, right?
No, Finding Nemo is literally like Schindler's List next to this. Like it's perhaps a bad analogy, but like it's much better. This
Do
is
you
I
like?
have this with like Cars 2, Cars 3, Finding Dory. Yeah, with those are the movies that I have at the very bottom.
Is this better or
Cars
worse
2,
than
man.
Turning Red?
I can't speak to Turning Red. I've seen bit. I need to like sit down and rewatch it.
Okay, Stone.
That's interesting.
Better
I have
or
this-
worse
I
than
just
Turning Red?
now I have told you that I like Turning Red, so
I know,
I
so I'm
will say,
curious.
hold on, I like Turning Red more.
See, he's gonna hate that. And here's where, like, Turning Red in a way separates itself from Hoppers. And I'm not saying Turning Red is better. All right, relax, Garrett. But they're both like,
you don't have it much better. You barely have Hoppers over it. It's literally
yeah,
one
right.
spot,
They're
so-
both right there for me. And it's the relationship aspect with the mother and daughter that kind of, you know, separates itself. Like even though I like Hoppers, I felt more emotions from Turning Red just because of that relationship that they build up throughout the entire movie in Turning Red. And there's no emotional relationship here that really stands out to me. Like, yes, I do love, you know, what they established with her and her grandma and nature, but not enough for me to feel an emotional connection.
I don't know. I feel like you guys are undervaluing the relationship between her and King George. Like that was the best
Maybe.
relationship. You guys are focused so much on the grandma and her human relationships. The whole point was Mabel wasn't good at human relationships. So, but she ends up becoming like best friends with King George.
Speaking facts down there, I can't lie.
Yeah.
I will say
do you
they
guys get-
tried. There is an emotional moment where they tried, right? It's like where King George is talking about how his dad was not there for him, and just all of a sudden his dad wanted him to be king, and he wasn't ready for it.
They were talking about, and like there was some like slight Game of Thrones references, like the Paw of the King, and he was talking about like usurping the throne and stuff. I was like, this is fun. Like, it was like a weird beaver royalty civil war story. I thought that was funny. Like,
it's like, how do you get that crown?
Yeah, see that stuff too. That was like one of those comments. Any rational person, why does he got a crown?
One thing I wanted to say about the human aspect, like, and I don't know, you know, we're obviously older and we can see this stuff kind of coming, but like seeing the grandma character, I was like, she's just being raised up to die, man. She's just like a lamb being led to slaughter. Like, it doesn't feel like a real character. It feels like she's like Timu Mama Coco, like, just, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing actually there. There's nothing.
Okay,
It's
but
like
I
she's
mean,
going
like,
through the motions to be a character to die to create emotional leverage. Like, it's just like, I don't know.
What happened
But
to her
the-
parents?
Yes.
Did her parents just like leave her?
I think she
parents
went there for like
moved.
summers or
Her
something.
parents
Am I
moved,
wrong?
right? No,
Or
no, but
Yeah,
like she
and
went up to
she's
They were
college.
not
19.
trying to deal
So
with her. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. Maybe that could have been explored more, but she like wanted
I
to
low-key
stay there to be
forget.
next to her to be next to her grandmother. I mean, she's
Right.
19, so
Yes.
that is the age where she was able
So-
to move out of her parents' house, and they moved away. And she's like, "No, I'm staying with
Okay.
grandma."
they dropped her off when she was being difficult as a kid. I think she just loved it there, and then they, like you said, they moved, and she was like, "I'm going to stay with grandma."
Some
I will
characters
say-
need to be led to the slaughter, Dan. I mean that is her
Yeah,
role.
but
and
build
she
him up
played
a
her role
little bit,
perfectly.
like make him a character. Like,
she had a hospital band on. You know, she supports
Right, okay.
healthcare workers.
I will say, just this kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier with kids and with technology and all this stuff. Like, I did enjoy, like, her sitting with her grandmother and just being able to appreciate stillness and not doing anything, and like, that is, I think, lost on maybe younger kids. And I thought that was a really good moment, and I wanted more of that. Like, I wanted more stuff that felt like that, and more focus on that, because I thought that was really a good kind of moment and opening. And I definitely appreciated that, I would say.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts? This has been fun. This is a
Trying
good
to
conversation.
think,
See, it'd
Yeah,
be
that is
boring
good.
if all of us are like, "Wow, this is one of Pixar's best."
Yeah.
No, I
Like,
agree.
there are some really funny moments, and then you have animals screaming. I think it's more.
That's
fun
why
to talk about
sometimes
that.
I hate me and Garrett's conversations because we disagree a lot. You know.
Yes, we
I was
do.
gonna say, I was gonna say, what is like a recent movie that you guys like? Because it seems like both of you guys are pretty aligned when it comes to this movie. What is a recent one that you walked out and you're like, wow, that was great. Wow, that sucked.
I don't know if we've ever done
Let me
that.
see.
Like,
Let me see. I'm
like
like
a
trying to go through my
recent-
letterbox to see.
a recent movie that we've disagreed on.
Yeah, for me and my wife,
Recent.
a little bit different, but it was Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. I think I was like,
Okay.
I know Dan did not like that movie, but that is it's
Oh
a
my
tough movie
gosh.
for my wife to sit through because there's a lot of craziness that happens in that. Also with the story
Yeah.
structure. I don't know if you guys checked it out, but
I
Dude,
did, I
honestly,
did.
like the first thing that comes to mind is always Wicked. Like I can't stand Wicked.
Yeah.
He loves Wicked. So, but
I did not like Wicked Part 2 though. Did not like Wicked Part 2.
That's the most
It was
recent thing
big
I can
drop-off,
think of
yeah.
that we are completely opposite on.
okay.
Just as a final thought, you guys like the Wild Robot when it came out?
Yes. Yes.
I kept thinking about that movie when I was watching this, and I was just like, I feel like that's a movie that takes every single idea that's here and takes it up to like a 10 and like actually is bold, and I love the way it looked. The music, like the score of this, do you guys remember a single moment of music from this movie? Like it's just not there, like stuff like that where it just
You say that it's funny you say it because like I'm the score guy, so Garrett will always ask me like, oh, did the score jump out to you? And I agree, no, the score did not jump out to me. Did it in the Wild Robot? Yes, I do think the Wild Robot is overall a better movie. I will give you that for sure.
You know what? Actually, I want to shout out because I think it's a DreamWorks movie that gets very much underappreciated, and it also I think it's more similar to Hoppers than the Wild Robot is. It's Over the Hedge. Go watch Over the Hedge, Dan. If you want, if you want them to really villain,
bro, I love Over the Hedge. Yeah,
it's so good, and they have 3 villains, and there's humans, and they fuck them up. They're not easy on the humans. They're like, we're gonna put you in a cage and fry your ass. That's exactly what happens. So, and the voice acting's really good in that.
Dude,
I mean,
that's
like,
a deep
Steve
pull.
Carell as Hammy is like perfect. I mean, even Bruce Willis as like RJ is like
it's a
that
very
like a
good
year
movie.
ago.
Yeah.
Great cast. Wanda Sykes is in that as Stella, and then I think the cat she falls in love with is like French. She's like Stella or something like that. It's good shit. Good shit.
Oh, there's a lot of people in that one. I do
There's a
want to
lot.
go
There
through
are.
a whole. I want to go through a DreamWorks franchise watch because there's some DreamWorks that I have not seen.
Who made
Like, have you-
Hoodwinked?
I got
Blake, have you
Oh,
still
wait,
not
what?
seen?
Hoodwinked? You guys know
I've
that movie?
seen. Yeah.
Yes.
I love that shit.
I've
That's
seen
funny.
Hoodwinked.
Yeah.
It is funny. Blake, I feel like
Oh,
I feel like you've seen it, but it's definitely been a long time if you have.
It's available on Tubi. Hoodwinked.
Is
Dude,
it not
it's-
ringing any bells?
It's a bang.
Wait, what did you say? I'm sorry, I was still thinking about Hoodwinked.
That it's available on Tubi.
No, what was Garrett saying?
I-
What,
Oh,
ring any
I was
bells?
gonna ask Blake if he had ever seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Nah,
Yeah,
I
You ever
haven't
watch
seen
that?
that.
God, man.
Wait, you haven't seen it, Blake?
No,
Oh my
bro. I
God.
Oh
try
my
to.
god, dude,
He
go
doesn't-
watch it right now. Like literally.
He doesn't
over to my-
listen to me
I
when
got
I
it
try
right
to put
here.
him on, bro. He does not listen to me.
No, it's very good. Yeah.
No, I
like,
know.
humor in
and-
Hoodwinked, man. It's like take them downtown. It's the woods, chief. We don't have it downtown. Such good. It's like we don't lock people up for being creepy. And then he's like,
Who made
hey,
Hoodwinked?
he's like, you know that one we got in the back. He's like, yeah, the creepy one. Yeah, you better let him go. It's just it's such funny comedy.
It is a
Terrible
46% on Rotten Tomatoes. What?
It's because the animation looks like dog shit.
Yeah.
It's awful animation.
It
Which
has
makes
a,
it funnier, honestly.
Yes,
it has
Yeah.
an
yes.
$8 million budget. So yeah,
And it made
very
110.
small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Who
that was a
made
good
it?
question
It's
though.
really good,
Yeah,
man.
who did make it?
Is this like an indie animation company?
I think so. It's got a good cast though, like Anne Hathaway, Glenn Close, Patrick Warburton.
What?
So
Yeah.
it says the animation was done in the Philippines with a stylized design inspired by stop motion film, and they did that in the Philippines because they didn't have a lot of budget. So I guess they went
Wow.
somewhere to where they could get it done cheaper. I don't know.
It's like
bro,
that
this-
movie and Monster House for me, where I think they were like really underappreciated. And
Yeah.
Monster House's humor is so good.
Monster
So
House is
fun.
good.
Bro, I
Bro,
forgot.
I'm not gonna lie. There's pictures.
forgot
the
Kevin
pictures of
James
this little
is in
Red
that.
Riding. Who?
Kevin
What?
Kevin James. Kevin James is in
Oh.
is in Monster House. He's the cop.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's
one of
a
the police officers. It's him and Chris Rock.
Yeah.
No, I was
Yeah,
gonna
they're,
say
like, terrible police officers.
these pictures of Little Red Riding Hood is like creeping me out.
Yep, there it is.
There's
That's
a
the
little
whole
bit of
movie.
uncanniness to it. It's Anne Hathaway
Yes.
is the voice too, but
Yeah,
There's
that's
a
kinda creepy.
like there's a funny moment where like the villain of the movie is talking to his henchman, and he's like, "You do this, and he's like, "Steve, darn it, change your name, please. That's not scary." It's like, "Boris, try that." It's just funny stuff like that. Like you have a
It's on
terrible
TV.
name
I
for
gotta
an evil
watch
head.
it,
Dude,
man.
it's very
anime
Shrek-ish.
it is
like,
wild.
yeah.
There's some flaws in the Monster House animation as well. Actually, I watched a clip recently where Kevin James' character, the cop, he's leaning his head through the car window, and if you watch, the top of his head goes right through the roof.
It's motion capture.
Is
So
it?
that might be why. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I remember that was like I read that was like Sony's new
It was like that
animation
weird
something.
era.
Yes, it was like a new style of animation for them. So
Was
if
it
there's flaws, I mean, I feel like that was bound to happen.
like similar to like the Polar Express?
Yeah, that's Robert Zemeckis. Like he was obsessed with that.
Yeah.
Dan, have you ever watched Monster House?
A long time ago.
So I know you're a big Steve Buscemi guy, and he has a big role in it. So I thought that'd be a good way to try to convince you to watch it.
That was got some fucked
Again,
up things too.
Oh, it's
Bro,
messed
his
up
charac-
at the end. It's dark.
Yeah.
Bro,
Good
Steve
stuff, man.
Buscemi's character is his name is crazy. His name is Mr. Nevercracker.
Wow.
That's a crazy name. That's a wild choice of a name.
That's funny.
All right, maybe we,
Oh, shit.
I wanted to
See,
talk about what,
Hoppers wasn't as bold. See, that's the boldness you got to go through. You know, give us a name like that.
really upsetting stuff. That's a good villain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what's the villain?
Not Jerry.
Mayor Jerry. Yeah. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, very Gavin Newsom coded. Just as a final thought, Mayor Jerry literally is Gavin.
Oh, the way
Newsom.
the way he looked.
like
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
Chadness of him. Yeah, it was funny.
I wonder
That's
if they based
how he's
that off
inspired.
of him. Yeah.
Wouldn't be shocked.
All right. Speaking of hoppers, let's talk about before we close here, Pixar's upcoming stuff right here. So this is the still that I got from D23, I believe, in August of 2025. These are the movies I think that are confirmed to be coming out.
Mhm.
So that is Toy Story 5, obviously this summer. Gatto, I believe is how you pronounce it, about a cat in Italy that is coming out next spring.
Yeah.
And then we have Incredibles 2 and Coco, or Incredibles 3 and Coco 2. Are you guys excited really for any of those? Which one stands out the most? But then also, do you want to see different stuff from Pixar? Like, what do you like really want from them?
I mean, it's gonna be
Out of
basic,
those,
but-
I'm most excited. I'm most excited for Gato. Out of those,
really.
ones. Yeah.
Why?
Black Cat.
Oh,
Something different.
Yeah, okay.
No,
No,
I'm
you
excited for that
explain
one.
you explain the whole thing. It's because of his
Yeah.
cat Oliver. It's that's why.
But I mean, well, it's also like, yeah, I think it could be something excited, and I really loved. Oh, come on, don't blank on the name. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Flow.
Flow. Yes.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that movie. And it was cool when we were walking around Pixar. We saw some of the offices for Gato. But I
That's
mean,
sick.
what are they gonna do with Coco? I think I'm most confused on Coco too, actually.
That is the one. I'm okay with incredible sequels. Coco, I thought it was perfect. We
Yeah.
know Mama Coco's no longer there. Unless she's,
Right.
you know what? They probably will see her in the afterlife or something like that.
Probably.
But
Yeah.
Coco died
That's-
when Mama Coco died, in my opinion.
That's a movie that's gonna have I think there's a high ceiling for what they can do, and the floor is like disastrously low. Like if they fuck up the legacy of the movie, that could be really
Right.
bad. But I don't know. I like the animation style. I like the creative team there was good. So I'm curious. But
Do you think they'll stick with our same main character, or they'll like have a total switch up?
Oh, good question.
Because it could be like a new grandson or something like that.
Yeah, because he's not.
I
Coco.
don't think
The
it'll-
mom- the
Yeah,
mama
if
was
he
Coco.
if he like gets older and they have like a new main character, because I feel like they could easily go that direction.
they also could tell a story about him as an older musician. Like
or that. Yeah.
That would
Could
be
be
sick.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I'm saying-
I feel like there's
It is the
definitely a
same
few
writer for the
directions they
first
could
one.
go.
One thing they just love to do with the sequels is change characters a lot of the time. So that I don't know. Cars 2 is so fucking bad. I don't know.
I'm
Yeah,
very
it's
I'm
real
very
bad.
curious what they're gonna do with Incredibles 3 though.
Well, I'm
Is
looking
the-
at it
have
right
they-
here.
Have they said
One
if they're
thing
gonna do?
that's
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say one thing of note that should be very much noted is that Brad Bird is not directing it. Brad Bird directed the first two. He is writing this one, but the person who's directing it is Peter Sohn, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, who did Elemental. He also did The Good Dinosaur. So we'll see. Hopefully this movie's gonna be
Is a
better than
live
those
action
two.
Incredibles happening, or is that real?
No.
No. Okay.
But for now, it's fake.
Wait, what's
It
fake?
probably will be real. Live action.
Live action
Incredibles.
Incredibles.
Oh,
There's definitely conversations happening, but they're not public yet.
probably yeah.
So I don't know how I'm feeling about Incredibles 3.
I'm
Alright.
I don't know if there's gonna be like a time jump or something though. Like, are we gonna see like an older Dash, an older Violet? Like, I don't know what the plan is there. I feel like they probably won't.
I think it's
Like,
time for a time jump. No, because like,
I don't
are we
know.
just
I would
gonna see
like that.
fucking Dash as a kid again? Like,
I know. I want to see
To be
Dash
honest,
like
I
a
think
teenager or
Dash
something.
might be
He's a cool character.
Dash is my least favorite character in The Incredibles.
Dash?
I agree.
Yeah.
Dash sucks. Yeah.
Bro, you see him run on water?
Yeah. Dude, his little giggle that he does in the
I
first
was
movie when he
about to say
he
that.
realizes he can run on water, I
like,
love that little giggle he does.
It's like
Yeah.
I
Evil.
hope if
It's
you
like
could run
Joyous
that,
Evil.
if you could run that fast, I hope you could fucking run on water. It doesn't impress me.
That's not I mean that's not the point of the scene, you dick.
I know. No, I do think his character is annoying and just they haven't given like the kids like anybody like they dove more into Jack than they have with Dash. You know,
I mean, yeah. You're
Jack
not
Jack's
wrong.
funnier than Dash, so I'm not complaining.
sure.
Jack
but
Jack's a
yeah,
baby.
because
he can't even talk.
he's just a kid.
The
bro.
big
Oh.
maybe it's about Jack. Maybe the third one's about Jack, and he's the main character. That'd be kind of sick.
Yeah,
He's just
yeah, I don't
evil.
know.
How would
I'm
Jack,
down with
bro? That would be like a crazy time jump. We'd
Right.
have old man Incredible and
Old man.
Well,
Silver Fox and Elastigirl. if
here's
that was
what's
the
great
case.
about animation is you really don't know how old they are. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Mr. Incredible, for all we know, he could be like 40 years old in the movies that we're watching with him. You know what I mean? So a time
the
jump
thing
would
is
be-
too, the voice actors are getting older too. So just make them the same age
Yeah.
as the voice actors. I mean, they're
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
like
True.
60 or 70.
Yeah, Woody
Um,
don't be sounding the same, in Toy
Yeah.
Story 5.
Yeah, I looked up an interesting video. You guys might know this because you're big like Pixar people and Disney people. Did you know that Tom Hanks' brother voices Woody basically in everything besides the movies?
He did, yeah, he knew that.
I told
didn't
like
know
that.
that.
Yeah. Any
That's crazy.
any toy, any video game, anything that's not the main movie, it's his brother. Jim, his brother Jim, and he's also stepped in for him as in Forrest Gump when they were doing the running scenes instead of having Tom Hanks do all of that. Apparently, Jim was like he was the only one who could get the Tom Hanks run down and like matched him exactly.
How does his
So-
brother get his brother's rundown?
What?
More than him?
Money.
You said
No,
you said-
well,
you
I mean,
said-
I think they just like wanted. To
oh, they liked
stand
his
him,
run
so-
better.
Well, I mean, no, I mean they just didn't want to have Tom Hanks do all of that or something. I don't know, man.
So Jim carries.
I
the
just
load.
know he stepped in. That's all I know. I don't know why. I'm just Jesus. I wasn't there.
I can't wait for Toy Story 10 when Tom Hanks is dead and it's Chet Hanks doing Jamaican patois Woody. That'll be good.
Wait, so what's everyone most excited for? I said Gato. Garrett.
And I'll do Incredibles 3.
Okay.
For me, it's got to be Gato because it's the only one that we know for sure is going to do a new animation style, and automatically that's just going to you
hand-drawn.
can't change. It's going to be like 3D, but like it's going to be similar to like what the Wild Robot did.
I think it's
It, like,
hand drawn though.
It like parts of it is they're blending 3D with hand drawing. Like the paintbrush style is the thing that they're going for here, which I think is what a lot of the times what the Wild Robot was trying to do. But yeah, you can't change the animation style with Coco 2 and The Incredibles, so
No.
that'll automatically make me more excited, even without a
Okay.
black cat.
Dan.
I'd say Pixar. Or Jesus Christ, I'm hungry, I'm tired. I'd say Incredibles 3 probably.
Okay. All right. Two
All right,
Gato,
yeah.
2 Incredibles 3. Cool.
Dan, you can't say you're tired. We usually record this at like 11 o'clock at night, and I understand his tiredness then, but
Bro, the tiredness starts very early. I'm an old man, so
I know
Well,
Garrett's
because-
more of a night owl.
No, well, me and Blake, yeah, no, and plus me and Blake were at a birthday party last night for our friend, and I may have
I'm
drank
Long
fine.
night.
slightly too much.
happens.
well, because Dan has to take his Sunday afternoon nap. Maybe we'll bring this episode to a close. Thank you guys again for being on with us, talking. Went a little bit long, but we had a good time. Again, whoever wants to, if you guys want to plug yourselves, say whatever you want about DuckTakes, about what you guys are doing over there.
Blake,
We
no?
are DuckTakes. If you want to find any bonus content, go ahead and check out the Patreon. Be sure to check out our sports page as well. If you like football, if you like sports, we've been diving into that as well. Go check out our TikTok, Duck
Hike.
Yes, sir. Whatever you love, sports, theme parks, movies, TVs, we got it. Check us out. All of our information can be found in the link in our bio.
There you go. Probably in the
Nice.
link in our description here too. We'll tag you guys down there. But thank you again for joining us. Next week we're going to talk about The Bride. I know Hoppers also comes out next week, but we're doing that now because luckily all of us had watched it. And we'll talk about The Bride. I heard The Bride's a musical. Have you guys heard that?
I have not heard that. Is it?
I'm excited.
Supposedly
man.
there's a lot of
like
musical
I'm
elements.
excited.
I feel like I saw that somewhere.
And everyone's like Joker 2. Oh no. And I'm like, you know what? It's different. I'm down.
This is
Kara saw it, Stone, and I asked her about it, and she was like, I can't really say anything, but it's going to be really divisive. And I was like,
Interesting.
all right.
I would actually
Well-
be a little more intrigued if it's a musical.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Christian
I didn't-
Bale
I didn't-
vocals.
Yeah. I didn't like
It's Jesse
Joker,
Buckley, right?
Yes.
And
Jesse
Christian Bale,
Buckley,
like, yeah, man.
Christian
I think it's
Bale.
gonna be good.
And then Maggie's directing her brother because Jake's in it too. So there you go.
Is
I'm
it?
excited.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's
Yep.
in it. I don't think they're marketing that as much
Oh,
as they
shit.
should, but he's
Yeah, he
also in
is.
it.
No. Yeah, he is in it. I didn't even know that. I did see Penelope
Dang.
Cruz was in it, but yeah, I did not know Jake was in it.
So
That is
people
funny.
probably
And
didn't know
Peter,
that.
Peter Sarsgaard and Annette Bening, too.
Great
Yeah.
cast.
Wow.
So people
Okay,
probably
yes,
didn't know that
cast.
this episode covering Hoppers was going to be divisive, but that's why we got the real takes here. Keep it spicy here on Goodwill Podcasting.
I'm sorry, guys. I wish I was.
No, it's
I'm
good.
sorry.
I'm being
No.
genuine, man.
yeah. No, it created a lot of good conversation today.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Always
Yeah,
gotta
how
keep it
boring would it be
spicy.
if we're just like, yeah, the screaming animals was funny. Imagine if all four of us said that. Just like, yeah,
Oh,
I really
God.
like it when the eighth animal joined in. But-
Yeah.
Guys, please go check out DuckTakes at all the sites they just said. Thank you guys again for being on with us. Please tune in next week when we talk about The Bride. But until then, go outside this week, sit on a park bench, go to Disney World if you're next to it. That'd be fun. Get some exercise in. Maybe one day Dan will join you there. And watch a good movie and call up your friends. And we'll see you next week. Peace out, everybody.